Once upon a time, there was a little ant named Anna. She was very hard-working, always running back and forth, collecting leaves and grains for her anthill. Every day, Anna woke up early and, with great patience, carefully and lovingly built her home. But what she didn't know was that something terrible was about to happen. One afternoon, while the sun was shining, the sky suddenly began to darken. Heavy clouds appeared, and a cold wind started to blow hard, shaking the trees and kicking up dust everywhere. "What's happening?" Anna thought, frightened. But before she could take shelter, the storm hit with full force, destroying everything in its path. The leaves Anna had stored were blown away, and the anthill was knocked down like a sandcastle. Anna felt her heart race. "Am I going to lose everything?" she thought, scared. The wind was so strong that she believed she couldn't do anything to save her home. But even with the storm trying to destroy everything, Anna had something very powerful on her side: her patience. And this patience would teach her a great lesson that would change her life forever. And hey, if you also want to learn more valuable lessons like Anna's, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here, we share amazing stories and lessons that can make a difference in your daily life. So click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and join this adventure full of stories and discoveries. Don't miss out. It was a normal day in the anthill, and Anna, the most dedicated ant in the colony, was already up with the sunrise. She had a mission: to collect as many leaves as possible to store for the winter. Anna was small but determined. While other ants did their tasks without much concern, Anna had a big dream. She wanted to build the biggest and strongest food storage the anthill had ever seen. Not out of vanity, but because she knew that, in tough times, her colony could rely on her contribution. The day was calm, the sun shone in the sky, and Anna worked non-stop. Every leaf, every grain was carefully stacked. She felt fulfilled. "Today I made a difference," she thought, admiring the small empire of leaves she had built. But, as life often surprises us, everything changed suddenly. Out of nowhere, the sky darkened. A cold wind began to blow, shaking the trees and lifting dust. Anna looked at the horizon and saw a storm approaching. "Oh no! Right now!" she exclaimed, hurrying to try to protect what she had built. But the storm was relentless. The strong wind began ripping the leaves from Anna's storage, scattering them across the ground, and before she could do anything, everything she had built was destroyed. The small anthill she was so proud of strengthening crumbled. Anna felt powerless. All that work, for nothing, she thought, sitting among the ruins. But as she watched the leaves blowing away and the chaos around her, Anna felt something different. Yes, her work had been destroyed, but she was still there. The leaves could be gathered again. The anthill could be rebuilt. It might take time, but it wasn't the end. What the wind had taken away, her patience could bring back. With this new realization, Anna stood up and began walking, gathering the scattered leaves one by one. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she also knew she wasn't alone. Other ants started helping, collecting their own losses. The storm hadn't spared anyone. In the days that followed, Anna worked tirelessly. Her anthill was rebuilt, and though smaller than before, it was stronger and more resilient. Every time a leaf was placed back in its spot, Anna remembered the lesson the storm had taught her: patience is the key to overcoming any adversity. A few days had passed since the storm, and Anna had already rebuilt much of her little anthill. However, the feeling of discouragement still lingered. Even with the patience to start over, the memory of the fierce wind destroying everything she had built left her feeling insecure about the future. What if another storm comes, she wondered, while carrying another leaf to her stockpile. One afternoon, while Anna was working alone, she heard a different sound, a melodic tune echoing through the trees. Curious, she decided to investigate. Following the sound, she came to a clearing where she found an old cricket, sitting on a leaf, playing his violin. He had a serene expression, as if nothing in the world could disturb him. "Hello," said Anna, hesitantly, but the cricket smiled and nodded. "Hello, little ant. What brings you here?" he asked, still gently plucking the strings of his violin. Anna sighed deeply. "I'm tired, Mr. Cricket. I've spent the last few days rebuilding what the storm destroyed, and even with all the effort, I can't stop thinking that it might happen again. I feel like no matter how much I work, it could all be in vain." The cricket stopped playing and looked at Anna kindly. "I saw what happened to your anthill. It was a great loss, no doubt. But let me tell you something. We all, at some point, go through storms. They can be strong, and sometimes they seem to tear down everything we've built. But there's something the storm can't take away, what we learn from it." Anna remained silent, reflecting on those words. The cricket, realizing he had her full attention, continued, "Have you ever heard of the deep-rooted tree? It grows slowly, and each time the wind blows, its roots grow stronger, making it more stable. When the storm comes, it may lose some leaves, maybe even a few branches, but its roots keep it standing. Just like that tree, you have roots too. It grows slowly, and each time the wind blows, its roots grow stronger, making it more firm. When the storm comes, it may lose a few leaves, even some branches, but its roots keep it standing tall. Just like that tree, you have roots too." "Roots?" Anna asked, not fully understanding. "Yes, your roots are your patience, your strength, and your determination. As long as you keep strengthening these roots, the storm can come as many times as it wants, but you will always have the ability to start again and become even stronger." Anna smiled, feeling a new energy growing inside her. What the cricket said made perfect sense. She had survived the storm and learned a lot from it. And next time, she would be even more prepared. The losses wouldn't define her success, but her ability to persist would. "Thank you, Mr. Cricket. Your words were like music to my ears," Anna said, feeling the weight of her worries lift away. The cricket smiled and went back to playing his violin, this time with a cheerful melody. "Remember, little ant, the wind can take away what's on the surface, but it will never reach what is rooted deep inside you." And so, Anna returned to the anthill, this time with a light heart and a mind full of new perspectives. She knew that with patience and persistence, she could face any storm life threw at her. After her inspiring conversation with the wise cricket, Anna returned to the anthill with a renewed sense of purpose. She had understood the value of her own roots, like patience and persistence, but she also realized something else as she rebuilt her home. She wasn't alone in this journey. There were other ants around, all facing similar challenges, and until that moment, Anna had been so focused on her own work that she hadn't noticed the power of unity. The next day, while carrying more leaves to the anthill, Anna noticed some of her fellow ants struggling with a huge leaf. They pushed from one side and pulled from the other, but the leaf wouldn't budge. Seeing the scene, Anna approached. "Hey girls, do you need help?" she asked, ready to lend a hand. The other ants looked at Anna, a bit surprised, but nodded. "Yes. This leaf is much bigger than we expected. We've been here for a while, but we just can't move it." Anna, with her newfound energy and lessons learned, smiled. "If we work together, we can definitely do it." She knew that even the smallest tasks could seem heavy when done alone, but with collective strength, any task could be overcome. And so, the ants began to work as a team. With each one pushing or pulling from a different side, the leaf, which had once seemed like an impossible obstacle, began to move slowly. As they worked, Anna noticed something important. Together, not only were they faster, but they also had more fun. There were laughs, jokes, and a sense of accomplishment that Anna had never felt working alone. As the leaf was finally placed in the storage, one of the ants, named Leah, turned to Anna and said, "You know, Anna, I never thought about asking for help before. I always thought it was more efficient to work alone, but today I realized that together we are much stronger." Anna smiled and replied, "I used to think the same way, until the storm showed me that sometimes we need each other. Working in a group not only makes us stronger, but it teaches us the value of cooperation." From that day on, the anthill changed. It was no longer a place where each ant worked in isolation on their individual tasks. Instead, they became a true community. Whenever an ant faced a difficult task or a challenge too big, the others would come together to help. And curiously, the work flowed much more efficiently. Furthermore, the anthill was happier. The sense of cooperation and mutual support created stronger bonds between the ants. Anna, who once felt alone in her mission to build the best stockpile for winter, now had friends by her side. And she knew that if another storm came, she wouldn't face it alone. There was an entire community ready to help her rebuild, grain by grain, leaf by leaf. The lesson Anna learned that day with her fellow ants was simple, but profound. Together, we are stronger. Patience, which had already become one of her virtues, was now joined by cooperation. With these two pillars, Anna knew she was ready for any challenge the future might bring. With the anthill community more united, Anna felt confident. The storm had taught her about patience, and the cricket had inspired her to value her roots. Now, with the help of her fellow ants, she felt that nothing could stop them. However, a new challenge appeared on the horizon. One morning, as Anna left the anthill, she came across something frightening. A huge stone had rolled down and blocked the main entrance of the anthill. It prevented the ants from entering and leaving. There was no way around the stone, and all the ants were paralyzed, not knowing what to do. "What now?" they murmured. "How are we going to continue our tasks?" Anna, who had already faced the storm, knew that despair wouldn't help. She looked at the stone, and after thinking for a moment, she realized their physical strength wouldn't be enough to move it. However, instead of giving up, Anna had an idea. If we can't move it by ourselves, we can think of another way. What if we break it into small parts? The other ants looked surprised. Break the rock. How? Anna explained her plan. With patience and resilience, they could dig around the rock, creating small holes and removing the weaker parts. It would be a long task, but possible. And so they began. Day after day, the ants dug around the rock, removing the smaller fragments. Over time, the large rock became smaller and smaller. And finally, the path was clear. Anna smiled. She had learned that with resilience and strategy, any challenge could be overcome, one step at a time. A few weeks after the rock challenge, the anthill was thriving. The ants, united, had overcome obstacles and learned the value of cooperation. However, a new problem arose. The seeds they had been collecting began to mysteriously disappear. Every day, when Anna and her colleagues returned from their gathering trips, they noticed that the stockpile was smaller. Who could be taking our seeds? They wondered, puzzled. Anna, always the most observant, decided to investigate. She knew that solving this mystery would require persistence, something she had learned from previous storms and challenges. She started paying attention to details, watching everything around her. One night, while all the ants were asleep, Anna decided to stay up and keep watch. Hours passed, and when the moon was high in the sky, she saw a small movement near the seed stockpile. It was a beetle, quietly carrying the seeds to a hidden hole. Anna silently followed the beetle, and upon reaching its hideout, she confronted it. "Why are you taking our seeds?" she asked, curious. The beetle, embarrassed, explained that it was also preparing for winter but didn't know where to find food. Instead of asking for help, it decided to steal the anthill seeds. Upon hearing this, Anna realized that, despite her initial anger, the beetle wasn't an enemy but someone in need of help. She then proposed a solution. "If you help us collect more seeds, we can share what we gather. That way, everyone will be ready for winter." With this offer, the beetle agreed. Together, the ants and the beetle worked tirelessly, and with persistence and cooperation, the stockpile grew again. Anna had learned that sometimes persistence isn't just about keeping going, but also about finding solutions that benefit everyone around. And so, after everything we've experienced with our friend Anna the ant, we've learned a very important lesson. Sometimes life brings unexpected storms that try to destroy everything we've worked so hard to build. But you know what's amazing? Just like Anna, we too have the ability to rebuild, to keep going with patience and strength. Nothing can bring us down if we believe in our ability to persist, even when it feels like everything is against us. But wait, did you notice something? The storm can appear at any moment. Just like it happened to Anna, it can come out of nowhere, without warning. That's why you always need to be prepared, with a lot of patience and determination. After all, life isn't made only of sunny days, and challenges are part of our journey. So stay alert, because the next storm might show up when you least expect it. And the lesson we learned today is, no matter how many times the wind blows against you, there's always a way to rise again and start stronger than before. Now, before you go, let me remind you of something very important. If you enjoyed this story and the lessons we've learned from it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here we're always sharing amazing stories that make you think, inspire you, and of course, help you face your own storms. So don't miss the chance to be a part of this adventure with us, right? Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you stay informed about everything happening here and never miss a new video. Just like Anna kept an eye on what was happening around her, you too can stay tuned to all our updates. Together, we'll learn even more powerful lessons to overcome any challenge. And last but not least, share this video with your friends and family. After all, we all know someone going through a storm, don't we? This story might be the motivation they need to lift their head and keep moving forward. Let's spread this message of strength and patience everywhere. Thank you for being with us so far, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, stay alert, and see you next time.